Pensacola Police Chief says his department is dedicated to holding those who commit gun crimes accountable. Aria Circa here this morning to tell us more about the event.
Sunday morning, just before 8, shots rang out on 17th Avenue near Cervantes. Law enforcement was first made aware of the shooting on the interstate. Several blocks of North 17th Avenue were shut down Sunday morning. Crime scene units stayed well beyond the street's reopening. Witnesses tell deputies there was some sort of argument that started inside the home that led to the gunfire. Someone inside then decided to take the woman to the hospital.
We haven't been able to speak to this woman yet. She's been in very serious treatment. She's still in critical condition. Praying for her recovery. We're very thankful that she's made it this far, but she's not out of the woods yet.
Winstrom says pieces are still being put together. The woman's relationship to the driver, shooter, and the home are still unknown. Pensacola police tell us they have interviewed several neighbors and are now working on collecting surveillance video. We'll continue to keep you updated as we learn more about this investigation. Laura, Jared?
A lot of people commenting on this on social media. Lori says, what is going on in Pensacola? Used to be a quiet place, so sad and tragic.
Colleen writes, terrible. I hope she will be okay.
And from Rosita, prayers are needed for my friend and her family in this time of need.
Shots were fired outside the 850 Event Center Friday night. That killed one man and injured 2 others.
It is the second fatal shooting outside that center in over a year. On April 19th of 2025, Keyshawn Hull was shot and killed in the parking lot. His mother, Sheila Grace, now speaking out, responding to the news of the latest shooting.
She says that the business itself hasn't changed anything since her son was murdered. She adds when her son was murdered, there was only one bouncer working. Friday night, our crews on scene saw the same thing, only one person with a security shirt on.
So if he was to go back there, he know that this situation happened there. Hey, let me beef up my security. Let me put more lighting. Let me put up signs that say, hey, you're being recorded. Just like if you go in a store, people are less likely to steal if you see a whole bunch of cameras in there. And people are less likely to pull out a gun and shoot somebody if they know they're going to get caught because you got cameras everywhere.
We did reach out to the business owner, Bill Marshall, asking about safety precautions at the event center. He did decline to do an interview, but he did give us a statement saying, quote, I love my city. I just wish we'd love each other a little more.
Now, the mom says she wants to see accountability from him, and that would mean things like more lighting and security and cameras. Meanwhile, deputies say there are no known suspects in Friday's shooting, not right now, and their investigation continues.
And again, a lot of people commenting on this, over 300 on our social media. Some saying the club does need better security.
Others arguing the club can't be held responsible for the actions of a person.
Thomas says, sounds like they need to either completely shut down that event center or dramatically increase police presence around it.
But Lisa writes, no one is blaming the business. The business needs better security measures is what I'm hearing people say. Can every horrible incident be avoided? Of course not, but being proactive is never frowned upon.
And from Yosmine says the blame needs to stay on the person who pulled out the gun and pulled the trigger.
4 minutes after 7 o'clock right now, heading into another work week. Hopefully a good one weather-wise. Good morning, Brooke Richardson.
Hey, good morning. And it's looking nice out there this morning. It's gorgeous. We have your temperatures in the 60s to start. We're going to warm up quickly into the 70s, 80s. We are going to have a nice, warm, spring-like day. Small chance of rain today. It doesn't look too likely, but we do have some more rain that we're possibly going to have starting Wednesday night. That's going to be your best chance of some heavier pockets. Right now, we do have some calm, clear skies. Temperatures are in the 60s. 61 in Jay, 64 Milton, 65 Fort Walton Beach, 63 Fairhope, 66 in Pensacola. So we do have that nice warm start to your day already. Radar is looking dry, so you'll have the sunshine help us warm up. Winds are calm, and it is just going to be a lovely start to your Monday. So get out and enjoy it. You'll have your temperatures getting into those upper 70s to low 80s by the time you hit right around 11. We'll get into those upper 70s. We're going to be seeing 80s for most of us today, mid to upper 80s inland, and along the coastline will stay right around 80. Overnight tonight, temperatures will drop back down into the 60s, and we will be seeing that chance of rain come in for the middle of the week. We'll talk about that in just a second.
At 7:05, we take a look outside and check on traffic for you. 110 near Airport Boulevard this morning. Light traffic there moving smoothly. No reports of any slowdowns.
The man accused of bursting past security and opening fire just outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner is due in court today.
He is charged with using a firearm during a crime of violence and assault on a federal officer Saturday night, of course. They say 31-year-old Cole Allen left his hotel room in the Washington Hilton where that dinner was happening, used a stairwell out of public view to get close. He had a duffel bag with guns and knives.
Apparently, he went down 10 flights of stairs and then burst past that security checkpoint. He burst past Secret Service personnel and then started firing.
They say Allen is a Caltech engineering graduate working as a tutor in Southern California, named Teacher of the Month in 2024. Sources say he sent his family a message before the attack describing himself as, quote, your friendly federal assassin.
Apparently, he listed grievances against Trump administration officials and in the same message critiqued hotel security. He said his plan to check into the hotel ahead of time allowed him to get those weapons inside.
Head of the House Oversight Committee is calling for a briefing from the Secret Service about the shooting. The president says what happened Saturday proves the need for his White House ballroom, which would feature bulletproof windows and other high-tech security.
Moving past it, though, it is Monday. British officials are saying that King Charles's state visit to the U.S. will go ahead as planned despite the shooting.
Charles and the Queen due to arrive today for a 4-day state visit, including a meeting with the president and an address to Congress, marking 250 years since our independence.
A spokesperson for Buckingham Palace says the two had privately reached out to President Trump to express their sympathies over the shooting.
There were over 700 comments about the shooting at the Correspondents' Dinner. We can't show a lot of them. Here's the ones we can. This from John. He says, people are crazy. Thank God the president is okay.
Get your pictures in. We would love to share them on the show. You can use the Chime In tab that is found on the website or the mobile. Just look in the little menu, click on that, and then choose the morning news section, please.
More to talk about. Peace talks stalled over the weekend. Now a world leader is moving into the discussions about the war between Iran and the U.S.
And calls for change around search warrants that give law enforcement access to people's cell phone data. How those are different from other warrants and what the Supreme Court is considering today.
But for the here and now, you know what we're going to do?
I think we should take a coffee break.
I know we should take a coffee break.
Cheers to Monday.
There you go.
It is 10 minutes after 7 o'clock, and this morning, peace talks between the U.S. and Iran remain stalled.
Now, the president is expected to meet with his national security team today after canceling a meeting of negotiators in Pakistan. At the same time, Iran's foreign minister is meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Apparently, he's trying to boost Iran's diplomatic stance, or at least their alliances during this stalemate. Iran has said they will not negotiate with the U.S. until President Trump ends the blockade of Iranian ports. The president says that blockade will not end until a peace deal is reached.
Of course, with the Strait of Hormuz closed, oil prices keep going up, and the cost of jet fuel going up as well. The Wall Street Journal reporting budget airlines Frontier and Avelo are asking the federal government for a little financial assistance, rather.
Perhaps, and Spirit Airlines already in talks about a bailout.
It would seem that more and more of us are a bit pessimistic about our money, the economy.
There's a new poll out from Gallup that finds 47% of Americans say the current economic conditions are poor. That is up 7 points from March.
73% say it's getting worse. That's also up from March.
A separate Fox News poll found 70% of registered voters say they feel the economy is getting worse, and that is a 15-point increase from the year prior.
And a poll from Marquette Law School found 7 in 10 Americans believe inflation will increase over the next year. Fox News found 56% of voters say the president's policies are hurting the economy rather than helping.
Most voters say higher prices are a major problem, with groceries, gas, health care, and housing listed as the top concerns.
As always, we'd like to know what you think. Let us know how you feel about the economic conditions you're facing today. Good, only fair, or poor? You can scan the QR on your screen, answer the question. We'll share the results tomorrow right here.
Another deadly strike on an alleged drug boat in the Pacific.
U.S. Southern Command says it happened yesterday, killing 3 people. Pentagon says strike targeted alleged drug traffickers along known smuggling routes. They've been happening since early September. So far, 186 people have killed in Pacific and the Caribbean.
President Trump says the U.S. is in a, quote, armed conflict with cartels in Latin America, and that our efforts are intended to stem the flow of drugs into the U.S.
A University of South Florida doctoral student is still missing after another was found dead. Now his roommate is charged with murder.
This is all unfolding in Tampa. Hisham Abu Gharbeh is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder now. He's charged in the deaths of Zamil Limon and Nahida Bristi. The subject was Limon's roommate.
Police say Limon's body was found on a bridge in Tampa Friday morning. Cause of death not released. Shortly thereafter, the suspect was arrested after a standoff with authorities.
We know he has a history of domestic violence and some battery charges, and the search continues now for Nahida Bristi. She and Limon were last seen in separate locations on April 16th.
All right, today the Supreme Court will consider arguments against geofence warrants, which allow law enforcement to scan cell phone data of thousands of people looking for a suspect.
Essentially a digital dragnet. If you want to describe it, that's what critics say. It compels service providers to turn over large batches of user location histories and timestamps within a specified area over a specified time frame.
Now, critics say it simply violates constitutional protections against unreasonable searches. They say it intrudes on Americans' reasonable expectation of privacy.
But geofence warrants have grown in popularity with law enforcement. Supporters argue they are a critical tool to make communities safer, and they say we are already giving the data to third-party companies anyway when we use our phones.
Another topic of debate when it comes to privacy, yeah, we've talked about it a lot. That would be your flock cameras.
There are dozens of them in place just around our viewing area. Last week, the Okaloosa County Sheriff credited flock cameras with helping track down a North Carolina man who was accused of heading to New Orleans to carry out a mass shooting.
In Gulf Shores, they say they have over 80 flock cameras, been in place for a few months now. They tell us some record license plate numbers. Others, they say, simply scan and monitor for potential emergencies and threats.
Well, they've logged more than 10 million vehicles, but they promise the data is secure and that it is deleted after a set period of time.
Love to know what you think. Do you trust that your privacy is being protected with the use of flock cameras? Well, 26% said yes, 74% said no.
This morning, nearly 50 million people on alert as severe weather has moved across the plains and the Midwest. Look at that. Oh.
One person killed, others injured in severe storms in Texas, northwest of Dallas. A fatality blamed on a tornado. At least 2 twisters reported. National Weather Service says one was an EF2. Storm damage displaced at least 20 families.
Officials also reported baseball-sized hail. There was a second death in neighboring Parker County, a woman found inside a storm-damaged home.
Well, Laura, what do you think?
Thanks, AJ, for a look at my hometown. That is historic Union Station in Kansas City, Missouri, with the downtown skyline behind it. A little bit fuzzy. Looks like they may be having the same level of humidity that we are, and that often happens. It's funny being from there, Brooke. I know a lot of times the weather patterns move right across like that. So many times it's the same, but look how pretty it is. They don't have that water.
Yeah, we're looking quite nice this morning. We're going to be looking at some drier conditions here. We're not going to be seeing the rain for this today. This morning looking nice and dry. We do have small chance of some rain by this afternoon, but it does look very isolated. So that's going to be your extent of your rain chance for today. Right now we do have the sunshine over our Hardee's camera. We do have calm, clear skies right now with our radar. It is going to be nice today. We'll have temperatures very warm. If you like that warmer weather, you'll enjoy this afternoon. Now, over the weekend, we did see some showers, some heavier rain pockets. That was a very welcome sight for us. We're still under extreme drought conditions for Okaloosa, Santa Rosa, North Escambia County, with that severe drought for the rest of our area, including Mobile, Baldwin, and South Escambia. We still need more rain, so we do have that chance later this week. It does look like we're going to start to move into a more of that spring-like pattern where we do have those pop-up showers. Can't rule out pop-up showers today. It just doesn't look too likely. We will still have a chance, so we'll keep it low at 20%. Still a small chance as you head into your Tuesday, but the best chance of rain comes Wednesday night. So you can see as you go through your Wednesday morning, a few more clouds, maybe some sprinkles in the afternoon. Wednesday night, we have a system that's going to be heading our way. You can see some heavier showers to the north of us. We could still see some rain moving in for the south of that area as we go into your early Thursday morning, those overnight hours, bringing us a chance of some rain. So we could definitely use some of that rain. Looks like we'll have at least some of it going into that Thursday. That is our next weather maker. It does bring with it a little bit of a cool down. It's a cold front. Currently temperatures are in the 60s. Highs today at 80 along the coastline or inland, mid to upper 80s. So it's a warm day today. We're going to keep warmer weather today, tomorrow, Wednesday. After that cold front moves through, temperatures drop down slightly. Not going to be a huge drop, but we will start to see temperatures in the 70s again by Thursday. Let's talk about those coastal conditions. Sea-tone marine forecast. We have 1 foot for the Gulf today. Winds are out of the northeast at about 5 to 10 knots. We are also dealing with your yellow flags flying, and a good chance that we'll keep those yellow flags as we head throughout your day. Let's get you through your week ahead. Temperatures are starting off in the 60s today. We'll be in the 80s for your highs. Small chance of rain today, tomorrow, and then as we head into Wednesday night, Thursday morning, that's going to be your best chance of some heavier showers. We'll be looking at your temperatures in the 70s for your highs again by Thursday with that little cool down. And then we'll keep rain chances around as we head through the weekend. We're going to keep about a 30 to 40% chance of rain Friday through the weekend, so we could still see some of those much needed rain showers.
Check it out, your Monday morning drive, looking live across the 3 Mile Bridge. How pretty is that? Light traffic, no accidents reported right now. It is 7:19.
We'll talk about this story. Are certain places on a hurricane hiatus? The areas that some experts say are overdue for a direct hit. We shall review. Well, after this story, you may ask yourself, is it real science or a bunch of horse hockey?
Okay, well, it's a new analysis. And what they did was they looked at hurricanes and they came up with the fact that 3 locations they say are overdue for direct hits, basically according to historical patterns.
Okay.
Yeah, the info is from AccuWeather Forecast. Tampa, Miami, southern New England are most overdue. Experts say populations have grown in these 3 areas since their last direct hit.
So their big concern, and that's why they're publicizing this, is that a lot of people who may live in these metros, which just got, man, remember how Andrew just smashed Miami, and remember how fearful we were about Milton. We already knew what the flooding would be, so that folks who just really have never lived through anything like that are basically underestimating the danger. Tampa hasn't had a direct hit since 1921.
That unnamed storm killed 8 people, caused about $170 million in damage. That's today's dollars. AccuWeather says the typical return interval is about 10 years.
Yeah, Hurricane Milton was the close call in 2024, and you know, Miami and the entire East Coast, no direct hit since 2004. The average return interval here is 6 to 8 years.
And they're really concerned about southern New England, where the typical return interval is 17 to 20 years. Their last direct hit was Hurricane Bob in 1991. Now, couple things. Their map shows our viewing area in orange, noting we've had landfalls the last 5 to 9 years, so at least we're not in red. But as for you guys, my question would be, is this sort of like a lotto ticket, though, where your odds are the same if you buy 1 lotto ticket and if you buy 20 million? So do these historical norms really make a difference or not?
Well, you know what Doris Day taught us years ago?
Que sera?
What will be, will be.
And Brooke says not so much, right? Yeah, she's not sold. All right, let's talk about something we can all get down with. Keela Richardson, she needs us to show up tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's performing as part of the top 7 on American Idol. It's Taylor Swift night, and we were talking in the control room earlier. I wonder what song. Because we're like, because you know, with her, you know, just her voice and everything. I'm really curious to see what they're going to pick, but they're going to cut it down to the top 5 after this.
Keela really needs to make it this time around, guys, because this will get her into the top 5, I believe. And then May 4th, they pick the top 3. If that happens, American Idol.
Chime In is sponsored by Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, this is from Janice. Beautiful cardinal visiting the feeder. What a lovely picture there.
Look at those colors.
That is gorgeous.
And good morning, and thank you, Aaron Sutton. This is entitled Morning Sunrise.
Speaking of colors, thanks. You all use the Chime In tab on the website or the mobile to send in those photos. And stay with us. The DOJ keeping a report on the NAS terror attack under wraps, why attorneys for the victims and their families say this evidence is crucial. Two teenagers are dead after a late-night crash in Santa Rosa County. It happened Friday night.
Florida Highway Patrol says it happened about 11:25 at the intersection of American Farms Road and Cornfield Way, just outside of Milton. A pickup truck, 6 passengers collided with an SUV. The pickup went off the road, hit trees, and overturned.
Two 19-year-olds were thrown from that truck. They were killed. The other 4 people inside ranged in age from 18 to 20, and we're told they were all injured in the crash, one of them in critical condition this morning. The driver of the SUV had minor injuries.
More than 200 comments on social media about this, most sending prayers and condolences to the families involved. Pam says no one should ever have to experience this tragedy. Prayers to the families, prayers to the first responders who also experience trauma when they encounter these accidents.
Janine writes, "This breaks my heart. 2 wonderful, wonderful kids. We miss you and are sending love to the parents on this dreadful day."
And from Judy, absolutely heartbreaking for so many involved. God bless and be with those families, praying for healing for the injured.
In Okaloosa County, deputies arrested a super speeder this week.
20-year-old Jim Mitchell of Pensacola clocked going 137 miles an hour on State Road 85. That's the 65 zone. He is charged with excessive speeding.
They also arrested his passenger, 25-year-old Akeem Finley of Baker. He is charged with possession of a controlled substance, and right now he is being held for ICE.
A lot of people talked about this on social media. Here are a few of the comments. Jackie says, glad they're off the road.
Sheila writes, 137, that is just crazy.
And from Robin, way to go, Blue. There are places for speed like that. Definitely not on these roadways.
All right, it is sneaking up on 7:31 on a Monday, but at least I think we have a pleasant day to look forward to, right, Britt?
Yeah, it's looking gorgeous already. We are seeing that nice, beautiful blue sky over our Okaloosa Island camera. It's gorgeous. We'll have a few passing clouds. Temperatures are warming up today. It's going to be a bit warmer than what we saw over the weekend. Most of us in the 80s. We'll have a tiny chance of rain, but it's not looking too likely until the middle to end of the week with our rain chances. Today, starting off quite nice. 60s to about upper 60s along the coastline already. Your radar is still dry with just a few clouds, most of us looking at that nice beautiful blue sky. Your winds are calm currently. We're not looking at too much of a breeze this morning, and we will be seeing your temperatures warming up into those upper 70s as early as about 11 a.m. and then as we are going into your afternoon, upper 80s possible inland, mid to upper 80s, and then along the coast we should stay in those low 80s.
Let's get a quick look outside. Live shot from I-10 at Pine Forest Road. And you should note there's a traffic light out at 9 Mile Road and Fowler Avenue. Keep that in mind if it's part of your morning drive.
The Department of Justice is blocking the release of evidence about the terror attack at Naval Air Station Pensacola in 2019.
The Saudi pilot student killed 3 American service members, injured 8 others. A student from the Royal Saudi Air Force. The victim's family filing a lawsuit against the kingdom for gross negligence.
Yeah, they're claiming that the Saudi government was aware this gunman was radicalized before he came for flight training at NAS. Now, the DOJ is not giving the families, they say, the evidence they believe that they need.
A federal judge presiding over the case ordered the DOJ to meet with the plaintiff's attorneys to resolve the issue. They have until tomorrow to do that.
Dozens of comments on our socials about this one. We'll start with Jay, who said, "This is part of why some of us can never heal. So unacceptable for the victims to continue to suffer and fight for every little thing, and this individual continues to be protected."
Clint writes it was perpetrated to show how weak security of the bases could be, especially one that is treated as more of a tourist attraction than a military installation.
We'd love for you to join the conversation and answer our question. Do you think the report should be released? We're going to pop up a QR for you. There it is, and we will share the final results tomorrow morning.
Well, after negotiations stalled out for a while, Santa Rosa County teachers are getting a 2% pay raise.
The school board approved an about 1.2% increase on top of the state's 0.8%. So originally, the board had offered their part of the increase as a one-time bonus.
Now, the Santa Rosa professional educators fought that to make it recurring. And after months of negotiations, the parties settled on the full 2% recurring increase.
And we threw out this question to you. Do you think the pay raise for teachers is enough? Here are the results. 75% saying no, it's not enough.
NFL draft wrapping up, and the Broncos have chosen our new Mr. Irrelevant. What comes with that particular title, or honor, shall I say, despite seeming like something of a dig?
And some wondering what.
We'll explain it all.
We're going to try.
Well, we're going to try.
But first, we're going to have coffee.
We're going to do that. Join us.
Okay, first I do want to mention, AJ just told me that Mr. Logan Jones was chosen by the Bears as number 57, and he has won free ketchup for life. So a little bit of tidbit there. But the NFL draft is over, and we do also have a latest Mr. Irrelevant.
I thought this was such a bad name when I first heard it.
But apparently it's a cool deal. You know, it's an honor being drafted no matter the number, right?
No kidding. So Red Murdoch, who was the 257th pick going to the Broncos, played for the University of Buffalo. Turns out the Broncos actually had the last two picks of the draft, but they gave Murdoch Mr. Irrelevant because of his last season with Buffalo.
He set a record by forcing 17 fumbles, logged the second most tackles in the nation, one of 16 draft picks who did not attend a power conference school, you see.
Yeah, he says he had opportunities to transfer to bigger schools for bigger NIL deals. He chose to stay loyal to Buffalo, and he now gets to enjoy Irrelevant Week, which includes a welcoming party, a tour of Disneyland, charity events, sailing regatta, MLB game. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And they also held a Lozman banquet. Get it, Heisman, Lozman. Yeah, the trophy actually shows a player fumbling a football.
Anyway, let's see here. A quote from NFL alumnus Paul Salata. We establish Irrelevant Week to drive home an important message. It is not a negative to be picked last. It is an honor to be drafted at all, period.
what Brooke said.
There we go.
Exactly. All right, one Heisman Trophy runner-up found himself undrafted. This is kind of a thing now.
I know.
Yeah, Diego Pavia, a polarizing quarterback from Vanderbilt University. He was not expected to go undrafted, and he was the first Heisman finalist to go undrafted since 2014.
Now, he was SEC Offensive Player of the Year, won the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award for Best Upperclassman Quarterback, and more.
And indeed, he lashed out at Heisman voters after he lost to Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, other experts say his size turned teams away. Vanderbilt listed him as a 6 foot. He measured just under 5'10" at the NFL Combine.
Well, it's not an exact science, you know. Yeah, get your Stanley Leverlock out there. If you're not,
It's flexible, yeah, but the average one is about 6'2" in the NFL.
he apparently accepted an invitation to the Baltimore Ravens rookie minicamp on a tryout basis.
Yeah, no spot on the roster yet. Baltimore does have Lamar Jackson too, so Pavia is not going to be starting anytime soon, even if they keep him.
Yeah.
All of our stories are always available on YouTube.com. Go there and search out WEAR News, and all our stories are there for your leisurely watching.
Gambling, and specifically prediction-based gambling, under new scrutiny as more people call for stricter regulations on these companies that allow gamblers to remain anonymous. Calls are growing to regulate the prediction markets amidst accusations of insider trading.
In the past week, we saw a soldier arrested for betting on a major military operation. Also, political candidates accused of betting on their own campaigns.
There have also been reports of massive bets on President Trump announcing the ceasefire with Iran before he actually announced it.
Polymarket gets the most criticism, operating outside of the country using crypto to settle bets so customers can stay anonymous.
Now, Kalshi has been U.S. exchange regulated since 2020. They require customers to show ID, and they have to follow federal rules against money laundering.
Both companies have updated rules to police insider trading. Kalshi says it'll ban political candidates who bet on their own campaigns. Same for anyone involved in sports betting on their own programs.
Now, Polymarket does have a broad rule against insider trading, but as for who would have the oversight there, the federal government says it would belong to the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. States argue it's gambling, so it is subject to state regulation. By the way, a number of states are vowing to ban the prediction markets, even as some members of Congress are also seeking an outright ban.
We'll see what happens. Right now, trial set to start today between tech tycoons Elon Musk and Sam Altman.
They'll be picking a jury, and the civil lawsuit was filed back in 24, so some might be thinking about time.
It accuses AI CEO Sam Altman and his top lieutenant of double-crossing Elon Musk, claiming they shifted from their founding mission, being an altruistic developer of AI, to a money-making venture. And
Elon is saying this all happened behind his back. Musk was the primary investor in OpenAI when it was just a startup. About $38 million he put in there over 2 years.
Now valued at how much? $852 billion. OpenAI has brushed off Musk's claims, saying he's just trying to undermine their growth while bolstering his own company, xAI.
Musk launched xAI in 23 as a competitor to OpenAI. Meanwhile, he was seeking $100 million in damages, but he dropped that after a series of rulings leading up to trial. Now he says he wants any damages to be paid to OpenAI's charitable arm.
And lastly, Elon Musk would like Mr. Altman ousted as CEO.
We'll see what happens there.
What better way to start the segment with the pier cam?
It is always so thick with fish down there by the camera. It is really cool. I know, Brooke, you keep your eyes on that periodically. Is this about as busy as it gets? It looks pretty packed.
Yeah, pretty busy there. I mean, you've got a lot going on at the pier. The fish congregate towards, so pretty cool
yeah,
shot
and
there,
so many people throwing bait in the water. That kind of helps. But anyway.
Yeah, you feed the fish, they're going to come. But we're going to be looking at some nice weather. We're seeing gorgeous conditions over our beaches right now. Currently, we are taking that look over our Hardee's camera. Gorgeous start, beautiful sunny skies. We're going to be looking at calm weather over the Gulf as well. We do have our green flags likely to fly today. Winds are just nice and calm right now. As we head into your week ahead, we do have some changes. Radar's dry right now. We had some rain over the weekend. Thankfully, seeing some of that rain. We needed that rain. We're still under drought conditions, however. Extreme drought for Okaloosa, Santa Rosa, North Escambia County. Severe drought conditions for South Escambia, Mobile, Baldwin County. So we do have drought conditions across the board, and they are high drought conditions. So we definitely need some more rain. Today, tomorrow, not looking too likely with that. That changes heading into the middle to end of the week. So you can see going through your day today, maybe a few clouds rolling through, still looking mostly dry. We'll have calmer weather on Tuesday. Going into your Wednesday, you'll notice a few more clouds rolling in. We'll have a chance of some showers in the morning, afternoon, and then our rain chances ramp up through the evening and overnight hours. We're going to have a cold front move through. This is your next weather maker. Brings us a good chance of some rain, possibility of some heavier pockets as we go into your early Thursday morning. So we'll be watching for that. That will eventually cool things off for us because the next few days, it's going to be warm. We're in the 60s right now, mid to upper 60s already this morning. Highs expected to be in those 80s, and we'll be around the low 80s along the coastline. Inland, we could see the upper 80s. So it is going to heat up nicely as you head into your afternoon. Warmer weather through at least Wednesday before your temperatures drop back down after that cold front into the 70s for your highs again. So things are changing a bit going into the end of the week. Let's take a look at your coastal conditions now. Your Seatow Marine forecast, 1 foot for the Gulf today. Winds are out of the northeast at about 5 to 10 knots. We are also looking at your yellow flags flying with a good chance we'll keep your yellow flags as we go throughout your day. Let's get you through your week ahead. Small rain chances today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. We're going to be looking at your best chance of rain as we head into Wednesday night going into your Thursday. That's where we have your cold front coming through, and you can notice that with those temperature changes. Going to be in the 80s today, tomorrow, and possibly mid-80s all the way at the coastline through Wednesday. And then as you head into the end of your week, we'll have those changes. Temperatures dropping back down into the 70s, mid to upper 70s. We'll be looking at some rain chances around for the end of the week and the weekend. Your rain chances will increase a bit for the weekend at about 30 to 40% chance of rain as we head Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. With that cold front, temperatures will also cool off a bit through the overnight hours. We're going to go from the 60s and 70s into the low 60s and 50s for those morning temperatures heading into your weekend.
Checking out your Monday morning drive, the live shot at 110 and Fairfield. Boy, what a pretty Monday as an aside. Traffic showing no problems right now at 7:49.
On the way, a flight last week landed in Oregon with one more passenger than it left with. The Twilight Zone? No. You can figure out what happened. We'll show you how the crew made it all smooth as possible in a minute. Well, apparently Delta was ready when she was.
Okay, a Delta flight that left Atlanta with 153 passengers on board and landed in Portland, Oregon with 154.
Yeah, it happened Friday on Delta Flight 478, in case you were curious. The airline says the woman went into labor on the flight less than an hour before landing.
Well, they called in a medical alert to the airport saying she'd been having contractions for about 35 minutes. And then they updated that emergency call to the airport saying, well, we have a baby.
Yep, the flight attendants, Delta says, just jumped into action and got it done. There were 2 EMTs on the flight, apparently, that helped deliver the baby, even though they didn't have the exact equipment they wanted.
Yeah, they use shoelaces for a tourniquet to start an IV, gathered blankets from passengers, and they do say mom and baby are doing fine. Vanessa asked if this means the baby gets free flights for life.
They sure should, shouldn't
should,
they?
yeah.
They sure should, yeah.
Or they charged an extra passenger ticket, you know.
You know, got to make your money when you can.
Oh my gosh. Delta says that his flight crews actually get medical training to assist in situations like this. So glad everything worked out.
AJ's got some good baby names. Jet, Delta,
Oh,
Pilot.
yeah. Pilot would
Jet
be
would
good.
be cute.
Or
Maverick.
maybe shoelace.
Okay.
Not so much
Shoe.
on that one.
Let's move on, shall we?
Chime In is sponsored by Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, look, a little jealousy here. Sandra Hagan says that is the inside cat watching the outside cat. Oof.
And Belinda Todd, thank you very much. Check this out. Sunsets on Garcon Point.
So nice. All right, you guys, we'll be right back on the Morning Current. Happy Monday. Let's get it going.
We are looking at lovely weather today. Temperatures will warm up into the upper 70s and eventually the 80s for your highs. Going to be a nice warm one through the middle of the week. We'll see some rain as we go into especially late Wednesday going into Thursday morning. That's going to be your next weather maker. Does bring temperatures down slightly, but not much. We'll still be in the 70s for your highs as we head through the end of the week and the weekend. Overnight temperatures drop a little bit as well into the 60s and 50s. Overall rain chance is going to be hanging around at about 30 to 40% as we head into Friday through Sunday. Your best chance of seeing rain will be towards the end of the week. Beginning of the week today, tomorrow, we'll still have a small chance of some showers, but it will remain isolated at just about 20%.
And the underwater forecast.
Very wet. Sorry, you guys, it's Monday. I'm working up to it.
The day-old question, is water wet?
Oh no, oh no. Okay, we clearly have some deep thoughts to ponder. But in the meantime, we'll invite you back to join us tomorrow morning. Thanks for all your votes and all your comments on socials. We love them. Have a happy and safe day.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.